So I bought one of these plastic welding things to repair the radiator brackets that I cut off. Works really well. Bit of filler material through with it. So this is the out position, but once that's held up, the mount's nicely up and out of the way, so that'll probably sit around there once the front is on there. I've also been having a play with the screen position and the steering wheel, or the steering column. So I've dropped the steering column quite a lot, but it's still a nice position, but that's at its highest point. And I've also made some temporary brackets for the screen, just coming off my temporary crossbar, and the wiper mechanism is in and clears everything. It should be better once it's actually, you know, pulled through. I've got clearance at the front. So with the screen, it's not too far off this sort of plane, which is where the original dash is. But as I've said, I'm going to push it forwards a little bit for the steering wheel. But I think it's going to be pretty close now. I think I'm going to make the screen a bit more vertical. It seems a bit too canted back. Yeah. Just taking it slowly. You can also see how big this boot's going to be. What I'm thinking at the moment is obviously build some extensions off these rails, keep them bolt on, and have a fiberglass tub that just fills that whole area. Not sure what to do about the sides. Obviously the charge port is going to be over here somewhere. That's another thing I've got to think about. If anyone's got any ideas, shout. Obviously I'll probably have to keep the flap, but whether I maybe replicate the 300SL Roadster that came later, and that was kind of quite a big square bit that sat there. Yeah, that's a nice big boot. Really deep as well. Although my air compressor controller is going to sit down there somewhere. And I want to run a full-size spare, but we'll see. Maybe I won't. A repair kit has done me fine on my other cars for years. So yeah, so that's the body just resting on the chassis. So okay, I can't remember if I showed this in the last video. Well, not the chopping down of the crash bar, but there you go. So that's the crash bar with the top half chopped off. There is an extra central span in there, so it's okay. It's not going to be as good as the Model 3, but it's something. And I've just had to notch out this little angled section there to be able to get the radiator in. So you can see where the mounts are up there. So I should be able to make something quite simple, just joining from there to there on both sides. But I think that should be bang on. That's just going to take over the top half of the grille. I'll have to mount the radar probably around here, I think. I'll see how the grille looks. And actually, I'm not even sure if the software uses the radar at all. It might just completely ignore it, but oh well. May as well put it in. But yes, that's looking quite solid. So the crush cam's nice and shortened. What else? And then also from there, I'll be able to build a little bit of framework. Well, I'll probably build framework for the body to sit on as well. And that can span across here. And then the latch. Actually, I'm unsure whether to have it like the original and front hinged or rear hinged. I might do a front hinge. Just a bit different, isn't it? I decided to move the column back, so I've just welded in some spaces for the moment on that front mount. And as you can see, I can get back, so that the front of that wood is the dash line. So even the steering wheel could go further towards the front than that, but obviously it's still electrically adjustable. I'll probably have it a bit higher as well. That's in its sort of middle setting. The gauges normally sort of the bottom of the gauges line up with that sort of corner at the bottom of the pillar. So I've got quite a lot of space there. And luckily I stuck it on charge for a bit last night and the isolation errors are gone. So it must have just been waiting for a bit of cycling, power cycling, to confirm the errors had gone. So it was just the motor harness a bit close to the body. Yeah, so now I've ordered a test wheel. I just found a steel wheel. It's coming from Germany. And I'm told my air suspension will be here imminently. As well as the last few fiberglass bits, but we'll see when they arrive. Right, this test wheel just arrived in the post from Germany. Let's get the car up. Fingers crossed it fits. That's one down. So apparently it's the rear axle that's the bigger issue. I'm quite liking these. They're going to look quite stealth. And yeah, they're looking like they should tuck in nicely. Obviously that's full droop and worst case. So get a tyre in there. Right, let's try the front. And on the front too. This is really good. I was worried about finding some wheels, but you can see there's loads of caliper clearance on the front, especially on the diameter. The only thing I do need to do is get some little concentric rings as well. Only 1 mil thick, but looks like I'll have space to have a little bit of a chamfer. But yeah, I think it's 64.1 to 66.1 these wheels are. And also they're designed for TPMS. So I guess the hole is going to be right for there. I mean, it looks like they're only cheap coating. That's not very good. Oh, and they've got some writing. Oh well, I don't think you'll really ever see that. They're probably designed as spares or winters. That is definitely good news. And just to see the front, full droop, and obviously give some camber on top of that, and that should be fine. What I am going to do, so these are the same offset as the originals on paper, so they're only 6.5J width. I'm going to add 1 inch onto the inside just to get a bit more control over the tyre. There's loads of space there, look. Yeah, a very good day so far. Let's hope the air suspension arrives in one piece. It's the air suspension. Right, I'm not going to set the phone up for an unboxing, but I'll show you as it comes out. See what I get in my kit of bits. Okay, so what we got? So we got left-hand front strut, rear damper, 2 rear airbags, then the right-hand strut and damper. So this is the integrated pump and tank. Wiring, pressure tubes, nice little cutter. Got one anyway. Another little power line. I think that's for the accessory that comes off the cigarette lighter in the front. Got a remote. It's a bonus. Wasn't expecting that. front and rear height sensors, all pre-assembled. The Sense console controller that would obviously fit very nicely in a Model 3, but I'll have to hide it somewhere. And that's it. I think I'll have to get the body off, get the car on the ramp and start the install. Alright, that's the front original struts out. They came off with this casting. The holes aren't big enough in the strut tower to directly access these strut fixings. We now have air ride. Still going to do some tidying up, but it's the airbag there. It's got ride height sensors on the right hand side. There you go. There's the front strut. Like I said, lots of wiring to tidy up. And here is the pump tank unit. So I think I do still need to do a bit of calibrating. So there we go. So we have low OnAir, which is the normal ride height, which is about 10mm lower than a performance, and then high. I think OnAir is the clever one, where it uses the sensors. The others I think are a bit more controlled by pressure. I did actually think I had a problem to begin with because the ramp was set a bit high. So I haven't set up the remotes or controllers or anything yet. If I go over here and is that going to work? No, maybe they're not working. Okay, a bit of user error yesterday. I've actually got this quite cool OnAir remote to try as well. Anyway, yeah, I'll stand back and show how it goes. So this is OnAir, which is sort of the controlled ride height. Go to high. Should work. I'll hold that down for a minute. Pumping away. It's not really a dancing system, this is more just for practical use. So that's the tank pumping back up. So that's about an inch, so about 25mm raise, and then the other extreme, just to see that sort of classic dumping look. So that I've measured as about 8mm lower than the OnAir. So in total I've measured at the jacking points underneath for the lowest bit of the battery. So it's a 33mm variation. And actually it only goes down to 120. So I think I'm going to set low to 100mm. So yeah, let's get tweaking the ride height sensors. Okay, so that was lucky. I've extended both links by 5mm near as damn it. Because of the arc they go, it doesn't look particularly linear. But yeah, so now I have low ride height ground clearance as just over 100mm and about 135 in the high mode. It's about 110 OnAir, so the controlled. So I think that'll be about right. And I can't remember where I am now. I think it's on high at the moment. Yeah. So let me show you again, back to normal ride height. And then low. Okay, right. I think it's time to get the body on and see how it looks. That's the air ride doing its job. You can see actually the angle iron on the sill over here is pushing the bottom of the body out a little bit over there. So yeah, the gain in camber has helped loads. I don't like this look, so the steels will bring it in about an inch, which I think will be certainly doable. Obviously uneven ground. So this is in the low setting. Go to normal ride height. Hold it. Not that much higher, but a bit safer, and then all the way up for speed bumps. Again. Right. There we go. The pump kicking in. Happy with that?